Hey guys, it's me again, and today I'm going to be talking about motivation. Alright, so this is part 2 of a kind of a 2-part video here. Before I talked about inspiration and how to be inspired, and today I'm going to be talking about motivation. Now there's a difference in my mind, so how I view it is inspiration allows you to enjoy the process, and motivation allows you to actually do it. In other words, you can be motivated but not inspired, in which case you're going to be, to me, that's when I'm batch paint. Anytime I batch paint minis, I am not inspired at all, but I'm motivated. In other words, I'm trying to finish something, I'm trying to knock out that game, but I'm not enjoying it because I lack that inspiration. Alternatively, you can be inspired but unmotivated, in which case you just think about how cool it would be, but then you don't do it. Ideally, you have both, where you are inspired and motivated, so that you not only want to do it, but then you do it, or you're doing it and you want to do it. I mean, that's kind of that's what we want, right? And so I talked about, just how we can be inspired and how inspiration affects us, and the motivation to me comes in many different factors. So part of being motivated is just getting to something I want to do. You see, I either am trying to paint something via commission, or I'm trying to paint something because for the channel, or I'm trying to paint something because of a game I'm playing, and that's it. That's the one I want. Anytime so like right now, my wife and I and a couple of my friends have been playing Conan, and we love it. Conan is right now my favorite game. Spoiler alert. My favorite game I'm playing. I'm not sure anything can beat Star Wars Rebellion, but suffice it to say, Conan is an awesome. I just love the game mechanics, and it's great. I like it, even though I lose a lot to my wife. The point is, that has motivated me to want to paint the miniatures. Alright, so by now you've seen Conan, and I've painted Conan, and trust me, I'm going to be painting more. In fact, I had my wife pick out one of the expansions, and we're going to play that last. And we're going to play that last because I'm going to paint that expansion, so that by the time we get to it, we have the full set painted. I'm a solo painter, so that's kind of where I need to draw the line here. Anyway, when you get a new game, when you get something new, that's motivating, right? That's what you want to do, right? You're inspired and you're motivated because you know you're going to play it, because you just got it, and all your friends want to play it, or your gaming group, or your family, or whoever it is wants to play it with you, and you're inspired because you get all these cool minis. That's like the perfect storm. That's part of that Why I Quit video, where, I get something new and I go and do that, and then I get something new and I go and do that, because it's that perfect combination, and I love it. It means I'm painting, so I enjoy that hobby, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And so you kind of need both. Now, how can you drive motivation, right? Well, part of it's just finishing, right? So, on the thumbnail art for that Why I Quit video, you saw 4 out of 5 miniatures painted for the Fallout board game. Now, the reason the 5th hasn't been done, because normally it would, because you'd be motivated, just one more and I'm done. That's it. I got a whole painted game. That'd be my first whole painted game. However, I hate that game. You can see my review video. In fact, I'll link it below. You can watch my review video. It's not kind. So that game sucks. I hate that game. I'd rather not play a board game than play that game. But then I'm really close. So if that had happened with another, like if I had somehow painted all of Massive Darkness, or, maybe all of Conan but one, I'd be super motivated to paint that one. And hopefully, because I've, been playing it and I'm still enjoying it, I'm inspired as well. And so there's kind of that balancing act that I think we all need, where you can be as inspired as you want, right? Everything you thought of before when you watched my other video and you thought, oh, this is how I'm inspired. As you're watching that, you're thinking in your head, oh, I do this, or I do that, or I hang out with this group, or I go to this store, or I subscribe to this, or I do this, or I watch this. But you need that motivation. The motivation is the biggest key and the hardest hurdle, I think. Because when it comes down to it, so many of us, I feel, at least I find this way, and I run a channel that focuses on this. We could look at a miniature, look at our paintbrushes, but that doesn't mean we're going to pick it up and actually spend the time to paint. There's so many other things in our lives that we could do. We could be streaming, season 3 of Daredevil. We could be doing some other thing that would soak up those hours of our lives instead of painting. And maybe you paint and watch Daredevil. I don't know. I end up with a dry brush because I'm just watching the show. But anyway, you need to somehow be motivated. And whether that's just finishing that last one or maybe rewarding yourselves. I know a lot of people won't play without a painted mini. And I kind of did this with Massive Darkness, with the roaming monsters. If I freshly painted a roaming monster, I'd add that to the deck so that suddenly it can now spawn too. So it was exciting. And essentially it was an excuse to play the game. And so that's always cool too. And you get to see it and you get to play the game. Motivation's probably the hardest one, I think. It's really easy to be inspired. Because it's so passive. You don't really have to go seek it out too much, and it's really easy to be like, oh wow, that's a great painting, yeah, that's cool, or oh, look at that cool, game there. But then being motivated to actually sit down and do it is a lot harder. But without it, you have nothing except a dream, right? An idea, a longing, but with no action. So do you have any tricks? Because see, I actually need this more than the other one. I know I asked for both, but besides the channel, I'm not sure I would paint that much. I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's just, there's a lot out there that I could be doing. I could be playing video games. I could be spending time with my family. I could be working. Look, there's a lot of stuff out there. And I'm not sure I'd pick up the brush as often as I do now. And I'd like to do it even more. So what motivates you? How are you motivated? How do you stay motivated, especially for long periods of time? You get that fresh game, you're motivated, but then it peters out, right? It's not new anymore. It's old, or you get something new or something else shiny or exciting, right? So what motivates you? I would love to know. So hit me up in the comments down below. I would love to hear how you get motivated, and hopefully I can learn something from it. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Again, another quick one. I wanted to kind of separate these two because I wanted to talk about them distinctly and have them clearly separated here. So I'll link to the other video in the description below. If you didn't see the first part, I highly encourage you do that just so you have some context on where I'm coming from here. Anyway, guys, thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.